Welcome to the Circle Leadership Headquarters Studio. We are live on a Thursday morning here in West Australia. Very excited to be back here live with you guys. Still slightly recovering from last week, but back on deck and really pumped for today's session. Actually, this one is they're all important, but this one is, to me, is really extremely important. It's a mindset thing. It's about the whole concept of reimagining strategy. And how you think about strategy is critical, more critical today than ever. And we'll explain why. So firstly, things are not going to go back to normal. We've discussed this numerous times in the past. It's not going to go back to normal. G'day, mate. How are you? Good to see you on board. Thanks for jumping on the live. The things are not going to go back to normal. There's not going to be a new normal. There's only going to be a next normal. Hey, Vanessa, thanks for tuning in. Really looking forward to doing our live stream together when we talk about your book. And so things are not going to go back to normal. There's not going to be a new normal. It's going to be just the next normal. And there's going to be the next normal and the next normal and the next normal. So when you're thinking about strategy for your organization, you can no longer think about a set and forget strategy for 5 years' time. Because things are going to change so rapidly. I mean, things are already changing rapidly, but we are in our generation's most uncertain of times. And this is one of the things that's really important for us to remember now as we think about strategy going forward. Firstly, and I'll touch on that in a moment. Firstly, please understand, based on Darwin theories, that it's not the strongest, the fastest, the smartest, the fittest of the species that survives. The species that survives is the one that's able to adapt to its ever-changing environment. Now, I added ever in there because we are in an ever-changing environment in the business world today, and that will not slow down. Yeah, absolutely can't wait either. Vanessa, it's going to be an epic session. Tune in, guys, and I think in a couple of weeks or 3 or 4 weeks' time, we're going to have Vanessa Verschaw on here live. We're going to be going through her book, which is going to be epic. So when you think about every generation's had their time of uncertainty, I believe this is our generation's most uncertain of times. But this should also be the most exciting of times for us. Because before in the past, when there was, you could look at things and, it was fairly predictable. There'd be 10 years of this, 10 years of this, and then 10 years of that. It was fairly predictable in terms of the cycles. Well, predictability is now out the window. But why this should be exciting is because there's limited opportunity in predictability, but there's tremendous opportunity in uncertainty. Why? Because nobody has a clue how it's supposed to be done anymore. You can almost go and create whatever you like now in the world the way you'd like to create it, because the rules are all broken. So it's really important for us to be thinking about that as we move forward from a strategic point of view in our organization. And this is why not just reimagining your strategy, but reimagining how you think about strategy is critical today more than ever. One of my favorite books of all time was actually called Reimagine by Tom Peters. Tom is one of the people I respect most from a management guru point of view. He's been writing books for 40 years, and his book Reimagine back in early 2000 is probably the one that really set me on this path about, tearing things apart and reimagining and rebuilding and things like that. And he wrote Reimagine back in 2001, and he predicted a lot of things that are happening today from a business point of view in terms of disruption and innovation. This was before Facebook and Twitter and all these other social media platforms came out. So reimagining is not a new concept, but it's something that we really should be applying today. So with that said, I want to jump into and show you what I call the Reimagine Matrix. And I want to run through this with you here. So we're going to look at two things. One is your strategy. And the other then is your thinking. Now, as a Canadian, I can usually write upside down, but running sideways is a little bit harder. There we go. Is your thinking. So let's take a look at this here, and from the concept of old to new. And the same here, old to new. Right? Yes, thank you, Vince. Love your take on capitalizing on the upswing of the unknown. 100%. And as trailblazers, you guys do that more than most. So yeah, it's absolutely, this is the best of times. This is the greatest opportunity that we've ever seen, I think, in the world today to be able to do something. And if you just take these simple philosophies I'm going to share with you and start to think about that in terms of your organization. So let's start here in this first corner here. If you keep the same old thinking that you've had and the same old strategy that you've had, this is what I call fade away. It's like putting your head in the sand and hoping this too shall pass, and you're going to fade away into obscurity or into nothingness. This is not the right option in today's world. Keeping the same old strategy and the same old thinking and hoping this too shall pass is not the answer today. Hiding your head in the sand is not, and hoping that it'll come back to normal as we talked about, it's not going to. So this is a very dangerous place to be. So let's say if we take this though and go, well, let's keep the same old thinking that we have. Let me rephrase that. Let's take the same old strategy that we have, but let's put some new thinking to it. This to me is when we are, you're innovating. Okay, so when you're here, you keep the same old strategy, but you're thinking differently about strategy and business and stuff like that. But you may keep the same strategy that you have, but you're just going to think differently about it now in terms of your business, and you're going to be tinkering with new things that you can be doing. Sorry, yeah. Just like the phone that upgrades to 13, 14, and so on. Quite possibly, this is what they're doing. They just keep tinkering and tinkering and tinkering. The same thing. They just keep tweaking, adjusting, tweaking, and adjusting. Right? That's a great way to look at it. Along to the that's the perfect spot to be thinking about that right there. Now, so you're innovating, which is cool, and we need people to be innovating. Now, if you keep the same old thinking about your organization, but you come up with a new strategy for your business, this is what we call, this is where people right now, a lot of people are focused on is growth. Now, growth here in this corner here, when you're coming up, you're keeping the same old way of thinking about your business, but what you're thinking about is, how do I double down? How do I pull on the existing revenue levers? And how do I double down on all those things and be more for more people? Right? So this is a growth strategy, but how do we be more for more people? Now, growth is great. Don't get me wrong here, but you can grow into obscurity and irrelevance just as quickly, because you're so focused on being more for more people that if the market shifts or changes and you haven't been innovating and tweaking and changing things in your business, well, you could grow out of business very quickly and grow into irrelevance very quickly. All right, because things are happening so fast. So growth is okay, innovation is okay. But what if you combine the both and you took a new strategy for your business and a new way of thinking? And this is where you focus on evolution. Okay, and evolution here in this quadrant in the corner here, this is where we want you to be. Just put this here. This right here, this is the place we want to play in. And this is important because this is about creating this is like fundamentally challenging what's possible for your business and how you serve your customers and reshaping your offerings by making sure you stay focused on why you do what you do. It's about a purpose-driven evolution for your business. Okay, so let's go back to this again very quickly. If you keep the old thinking and the old strategy, guess what? You're going to fade away into obscurity or nothingness. It's hiding your head in the sand, and it's not the way to go forward. Now, you can keep your same old strategy, but you can apply new thinking to it. And as Alonzo already alluded to, it's like upgrading the next thing. It's just tinkering and tweaking your business, and you're innovating, which is good, and you should continue to do that. The other one is keeping the same old thinking about your business, but thinking of a new way to get to market and serve more people with what you already do, pulling on those existing revenue levers and continuing to do that and be more for more people. But the challenge with that is, if the market shifts and changes, and it does fast in the world today, that you can be left behind. So the best way to, in this case, what we would call evolve and stay relevant, is to create a new way of thinking and a new strategy for your business so you can fundamentally challenge what's possible in the way that you serve your customers and reshaping your offerings and focusing on why you exist. Because your purpose doesn't confine you, it just defines you. Purpose defines you. This is why we do what we do. This is a problem we're passionate about solving in the world today for the people we choose to solve it for. That why can have many hows and many whats over its lifetime. Okay? So if you stay focused on your current business model, every business model has a shelf life. Has yours expired and you just don't know it yet? You can keep tinkering and tweaking and adjusting your business. That's cool too. But you're probably going to get left behind in that because you're not actually doing anything. You're not reaching new markets. You're not expanding your business. You're not doing anything. But when you decide to evolve your business, make evolution the natural state of your business, and you can have growth spurts along the way, you're going to steadily and progressively increase your capabilities and your capacity for greatness along the way. So it's critical for businesses today to be looking at both, not just only reimagining your strategy, but also reimagining how you think about strategy. If you guys would like a copy of that template, just put hashtag Reimagine Strategy in the comments and we'll make sure we get that to you so you can start thinking about your own business and where are you at and what do you need to do to move forward as an organization. Please, I cannot stress enough that just tinkering your business and innovating is not the answer. It's part of the answer, but it's not the answer. Growing your business is not the answer. It's part of the answer, but it's not the answer. In today's world, if you want to adapt to the ever-changing environment in which your business finds itself in and take advantage of these most uncertain of times, then what we need to be doing is not only reimagining our strategy, but how we think about strategy. And that's where you will evolve and stay relevant and increase your capabilities and your capacity for greatness. And you'll stay relevant in the hearts and minds of the people that you choose to serve. Okay, you need to be able to do both. So hashtag Reimagine Strategy. If you like that template, we can give you the complete template with everything written on it. So you can take a look at that and start questioning your organization and saying, hang on, are we tinkering? Are we growing? Or are we evolving and staying relevant? Hashtag Reimagine Strategy. Hashtag yes. Thank you, Alonso. So until next week, guys, that's it. I just want to share with you today was that simple matrix there on how to think about your business. Vanessa, Alonso, everybody else who tuned in, thank you so much for your time and attention on this. Really value you guys jumping on and sharing your comments. And if there's something else that you'd like us to challenge, please don't hesitate to throw a comment in there, and we can do a live stream and hopefully provide some value to you guys in that space as well. Until next week, and a healthier, happier, fitter, stronger Dave. Really at the tail end of everything. Oh, another comment here, Julian. Thanks, Dave. Big important thing that you taught me. Yes, thanks, Julian. And you are the epitome of this, mate. Like, you guys are reimagining your strategy. You are reimagining how you think about it. It's critical. And the cool part for you, Julian, is you're helping other people do the same thing, man. So keep up the great work that you and Euphorium are doing there. It's really impressive. And if you guys haven't checked out Euphorium, check them out online. An amazing organization that will help you to venture into the unimagined. When you've exhausted all your ideas, all your thoughts, all your possibilities, all your answers, they come in and they will venture into places you have not thought about. Very cool organization. And also Porfirio, I call him Alonso. Alonso has got an amazing course coming out about how to learn from comedy. Alonso, you and Julian need to get together. So as a comedian, Alonso is teaching business owners and leaders not to learn comedy, but to learn from comedy. So another guy to check out as well. So thanks you guys for tuning in. And of course, Vanessa, don't forget, I'll give her a little shameless plug here. Her new book out, Unreasonable Ambition, which is renegade thinking for leaders to create impossible change, which is really up the alley of this reimagining strategy. She works with a whole bunch of trailblazers. Check out her book as well. Please do. Anything that's going to help people think differently in today's world. All right, guys, till next week. Got to love you and leave you. And thanks again for tuning in. And we will see you live in the studio next week.